Welcome back.
Hello.
Holy fuck, it's time for more 10th Kingdom.
Yeah, we're all excited, but we're just quick intro because we want to start talking about it.
Yes, quick intro.
Every single time that we sit down to watch this, in my mind, I am not used to it being broken up into 5 episodes, so I can just see the thumbnail, and then I just think through my head, like, okay, what are we probably going to see in this one? Like, yeah, probably that. And I'm wrong, and also out of order, and just all kinds of stuff every time. So, I'm genuinely excited to just watch this again, because I have a pretty good idea of what's going to be in this one. So this is going to be the one that you're probably going to see, more cameos that you'll pick up on. There's going to be, more fun scenery change, and this depending on, and again, thinking about what's in this one, in my mind, if it is what I think it is for the most part, this might be my favorite one that we watch, because there's some fun stuff that starts to happen near the end of the show.
All right, well, we should jump into it then.
Well, hold up.
Okay, what
hold
do you
up.
have to say?
Last time we ended on what did people think about this when it came out?
Yeah.
That was the question we posed, and I said
you were gonna
give you a hot take. Well, I just looked it up mere seconds ago.
Yeah, you said you would.
About time.
It upon its release, it received mostly positive reviews.
Yeah.
And it currently holds a 100% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Hey,
I mean, that's not very
So,
it must be a cult hit then.
yeah. They also won an Emmy for outstanding opening credit sequence.
Wow.
Okay, what year was that?
But that's
2000?
But that's back in that day.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I can see it.
It's memorable. That's out of everything in the show. I remember that.
Okay.
Outstanding main title design. Yeah.
I say we just jump right back into it, and then we'll talk to you guys.
We'll talk before the show.
Be right back after we watch it.
And now, our feature presentation.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Another episode done of the 10th Kingdom.
Yep.
More revelations.
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
In the bag of the 10th Kingdom. Starting off where we left off in Kissing Town.
Yep.
The gang had just discovered where the mirror was, the jacked up price, and thus began their quest to earn enough golden Wendels, to buy that mirror, hopefully.
Yep.
And everything from there ensued. Golden Wendell, nickname for your penis. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this. So this didn't have what I thought it would have in there, where I was talking about this being the sleepy episode and the whiter shade of pale. That's the next one. It can't not be in the next one because it hasn't shown up yet, so it has to be in the next one.
Your brain somehow.
Isn't that the last one? The next one, the last one?
Yes.
The next episode's the last one.
Okay.
But they pack so much into these episodes, we've said before.
There's just times where I forget it's an hour and a half. I'm just how many hours is this?
Yeah,
because they do pack a lot in there.
Well, they do
a lot, but a little.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah,
the greater story doesn't really get told too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's a lot of I don't want to call it filler, but there is a lot of things happening outside of. It's there's new and multiple B plots for every separate episode.
Yeah.
You know, with the main plot happening a little bit throughout.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have this episode. They go to a casino or some shit.
In Kissing Town, yeah.
Old maid and really kitty looking game.
One of them he calls Happy Families. The other one, I don't know what it is, where they're slapping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're playing Snap.
Snap.
I don't know what that game is.
That's what what they said every time they slap.
Yes,
sure it's
yes, you are correct. That is what they said.
There's a game that's called Hands Down.
Okay.
That's a game, or it's kind of
that old
High Five
one.
or something
Yep.
like that.
And then
they have to get all the family members together. Of a certain
we called
day.
that Happy Families.
Yeah.
And then the wolf was playing the Jackrabbit Jackpot, a big roulette wheel. And
he
Nobody's won, or one person has won ever,
won. Yeah.
and then he won.
And he won.
and then he just on a whim because he was literally just like wasting his money because.
Well, he didn't want it either. Like at first, he was just like, oh.
Well, at first he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go over here and do what I can to help." Then he was like, "Wait, if I help, she's gonna go home." And he went through his whole like neurotic thought process that he's gone through multiple times, where he like tries to reason out the best way to get to Virginia's heart, but to like
He's rationalizing everything. It just doesn't go how you think. He thinks is the better choice.
yeah, like his line of thinking isn't like too out there, but it's just the wrong stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's never like you can see the reason why he would be thinking this, but it's you know that it's the wrong thing.
Yes.
It's like giving into his impulses more so than logically thinking.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
thinks because he's read these books like, hey, girls might like this jewelry or like these really romantic gestures, but it turns out that they all backfire anyway. Because all she wants is to go home.
Is another baby. She's gone tomorrow, but all that she wants is another baby. Yeah.
Is that Ace of Base reference? Oh, I saw the sign.
Did it open up your eyes? Dude?
Yeah.
But yeah, then Laircat gets in an intense game of Snap with fucking Dilford Dang, the Mustard Mang.
No, Dilford Dang wasn't in the Snap
Yeah,
game.
it was. It was
He
him
was-
and the old lady.
He was in the Happy Families.
I don't know. I think Dapper Dilford Dang, the Mustard
Dapper
Mang
Dilford
was-
Dang couldn't
No, he
even
was.
fucking
Snap,
reach
he
the
was.
pile
He
of
was, 'cause
Snap.
he was
Why would
there.
he be in the game?
He was here. Laircat was. This doesn't work for you guys because you can't see it.
In the middle, let's say.
Yes, he was at that table.
So Dilford Dang was on
But
the
it-
left end.
But in my mind,
Laircat was next to him on his left.
no, yes,
And then-
he
and
was
then
there.
The old lady was on the left side there.
But in my mind, Dapper Dingus Dang didn't like deserve to be at that table because his arms were too short to like
That's-
efficiently reach out and like
He did not-
slap or snap or whatever the hell you want to call
did
it.
not be like conquer the mustard seed business and make all that money just so he can be belittled for his tiny arms.
I'm not belittling him.
Dapper
It's
Dilford Dang,
that's the
Mustard
truth.
Man.
He does not have the same physical reach as the other people. That's a fact. I'm not
It's true,
belittling
that's
him.
why he lost.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
He lost bad.
Ugh.
But
So
anyway,
yeah,
so
they're
the
having
wolf
fun with the.
won, and they're all trying to get enough money to buy this auctioned item of
Yep.
the mirror. And
Wolf
it turns
fucked
out,
off during the Snap game.
before all of that, they put a little sign
Hmm.
on Wendell saying, or Dog Wendell saying,
Yeah.
50-50, I'm a lucky dog.
Yeah, lucky gambling dog. Split
Lucky-
your earnings
yeah, split
50-50
your
with me.
earnings with me.
So when John Larroquette ends up like
Inevitably loses.
betting on the entire pot against one other person and loses, the other person's like, "Well, a deal's a deal,"
There's a
and
dang old dog
half
already
the
underneath it.
winnings are apparently sufficient, and at least 5,000 because that was the
Yeah.
price of the mirror.
Yep.
Half of those winnings was at least 5,000, so they get that and they go and try and bid on the mirror, but
Well, and then Wolfman,
the huntsman.
he fucks off.
Yep. After he wins, he
Goes-
even like doesn't even get his earnings at first. He just like
No.
goes and talks with Virginia, and they
And then
share
the
a romantic
yeah,
green screen
green
moment.
screen kiss moment. And then one of the workers or whatever comes and snags him and is like, "Here, come
Yeah.
on, let's go get your shit." And he's like,
You still haven't
"Oh."
collected your winnings, sir.
And
And then they all applaud him. He's like, "Shut up!
Shut up.
Stop clapping!"
and he
Please clap.
please laugh.
Please.
He then he goes to the store full of cuckoo clocks.
Ooh,
Yeah, the
that's a
ring
good scene.
store.
Yeah,
That was a really bizarre
with
scene.
fucking Pete McCauley.
Yeah, the like guy who looked like a cheap knockoff Paul McCartney.
Yeah, and all the cuckoo, all the cuckoo clocks go off at exactly the time except for one.
Yeah, he's
One
like
comes out,
got them all
little-
synchronized, and then
He takes it off, goes into a back room, and all of a sudden you just hear and like
a
scream.
shotgun, and then a little tiny little like bird like me,
Yeah.
Yep.
and then he just
Then he just comes back
no
out.
other sound. He just walks back out of the like back room and is like, yes, how can I help you?
Yeah, and then
Yep.
he gets his ring, which is
The singing
an
ring, which is
existential abomination.
We should talk about the effects though. That initially
Oh,
he opens
yeah.
up a chest,
yeah,
and then the chest or the camera zooms in on the chest.
Little ring
they're all
box.
Little bouncing JPEGs.
yeah.
There's JPEGs of rings.
And like what as he's lifting the lid, you can see that they're like super squashed down, and they
Yeah.
rise up with the lid. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's so
It's
so
great.
delicious.
But we get to the piece de resistance
The worst thing in existence.
is the fucking pearl ring
It disturbs me to my
That
turns its face around. And I mean
Mhm.
face, not like a
Yeah.
face of a clock.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like,
Looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
those old timey animated pictures of like a moon with a face on it.
yeah.
It's creepy.
yeah, like
We were saying that it just looks like somebody like took a melon baller and scooped off Thomas the Tank Engine's face,
yeah, or Percy,
and then just put that like
or James,
on a ring.
One of those
Yeah.
weird.
One of them, their trains.
One of them trains.
One of them there
or Sir Topham
trains.
hat. It was just Sir Topham hat.
Sir Topham hat.
Scooped his face off and put it on a little pearl.
That
spheroid.
might be the like worst effect, or the effect that holds up the least from this show, in my opinion.
They kind of look like Casper the Friendly Ghost style.
Yes, but like the animation wasn't great. It was a little bit like
No.
choppy.
I think the JPEG rings were worse, but
They were worse, but they also weren't as featured. Like this is getting more screen time, so you have more time to realize how bad it is.
But yeah, this fucking tiny monstrosity, who when it turns its face around, the thing that it's holding in almost looks like a fucking big old like collar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's
a Dracula.
it's meant to
collar.
like look like
It's
You know.
spooky.
Like a
And it
count.
starts singing.
It's more-
It sings everything, and it's the worst.
it, yeah,
And
it
I
like
wish-
sing rhymes
I wish
and
it died in a fire, but it.
it got you got the opposite.
I did.
Like, put me on your digit, and
Yeah.
then I will make you fidget. Or what did it say?
Your girl's gonna fidget when I'm wrapped around her digit or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Bunch of stupid shit like that.
Just
He
little-
walked around
little
with that shit in
limericks.
his pocket. I don't know how he's not having a panic attack the whole time.
We joked that like he buys the ring for her because it's sold as this like when he's in the store, the guy's like, and the most expensive ring for only the best girls. So he's like being sold it that it's the best ring ever, and every time that he opens it up, he's like terrified by it, just the effect. He's like, ah!
Yeah.
Every time he like looks in the clamshell, because it comes in a stupid clamshell.
Yeah.
Opens it and he just gets a little startled every time. He's like, oh god, it's so hideous.
I mean, that happened to you guys. Every time that it came on screen, I heard both of you like, ugh.
Just shuddered, like,
I hated it.
You audibly made a noise.
yeah, it winced.
It was
like,
great.
"Ugh."
It's the worst,
It's very unsettling.
scariest thing.
It's
on
very
this
unsettling.
So all that stuff happening in Kissing Town, and then they reconvene to try and buy the mirror with their winnings,
Yep.
Yep.
and the huntsman ends up swiping it out from under him. He like doubles their bid to 10,000. They're like, well, shit. So he gets the mirror, and they all
But
end up
he-
at a bar.
He uses it, I think, for leverage for what he's about to do in the
Yeah.
last part of the being at the Lover's Town, whatever it's called,
Kissing Town.
Kissy Town. He uses buying it to actually get access to Wendell, so he can actually give him a pop.
Yeah, like he's trying to kill two birds with one stone, no pun intended. Like he's trying to get his hands on the mirror and get his hands on the dog and the people that have been eluding the queen, because he's been sent after all three basically at like either different times or at one time. She's been like, okay, go get these things. So he like they all end up at a bar, and they're like all commiserating with each other, and then Virginia and Wolf go off to have their little date. And Tony and the dog get progressively more drunk, and then they get a note saying that,
If you want your mirror,
If you
meet
want the
me in
mirror
town square.
at the tower in the town square. And then we're cutting back and forth between like that little plot line and Virginia and Wolf's date.
Which is going well.
There's not really a whole lot to talk about
No.
for
like,
the date
Date goes well. Busts
Until
the
it
ring
doesn't.
out.
until
Busts the ring out, and then she's like, "How you afford it?" And he's just like, "I won some shit." And she's like, "What?"
yeah,
You
it's
could've
it's
used
just
that for the mirror, dum dum.
it's one of the like
"Well."
typical like in the end of the second half character
Yeah.
betrayal things where they then have to come back together, and it's like, well, you lied about this. Well, no, I didn't, and all that shit.
You
It
spent
was-
it. Like,
it was
I spent it on
bound
you.
to happen.
I wanna
There's-
go home.
Yeah.
Sparks flying, and then it dissolves when the revelation comes to
And
pass.
then
But-
mercifully after that, the fucking wolf is moping, and he tosses that piece of fucking garbage, shitty, horrible
Toe ring.
nightmare into the water, and it's like, oh shit, oh fuck, oh I'm in the water, and it tries to, and then it sees a fish, and it starts to like try and swim.
Yeah.
And a fish comes up and swallows it. And I'm like, good, you're gonna be fish poop now, you garbage.
Oh, I'm so glad that that's the end of that ring, man.
Me too.
Shut up, Wilson.
What?
It's not coming back.
You piece of shit.
I'm saying I'm so glad that this is.
Like, this is gonna be tasty, and it's like, oh, what's this?
I bet the trolls are gonna find it, and they're like, wow, cool.
I'm literally not trying to infer anything at all. I was just saying I'm glad that that's the end of that ring.
Be my dad.
My dad.
So yeah, then.
But okay,
story side,
the one thing I do want to like, not about the date really, but that scene.
Yeah.
Last time that we talked, I said that this one was going to be fun because there's like, the more we see of Kissing Town, and this is more of a general comment, like the more time we spend in Kissing Town, and we're going to the casino and the bar, and yes, I misspoke a little bit. The casino, the bar, the place at the date, like the restaurant, all these places, like this set dressing is just super lavish. And it's like really loud and gaudy colors kind of at times. But like the casino had the big roulette wheel and all kinds of like things hanging from the ceiling and draping everywhere. The bar had those big like dwarf pillars and bright colored lights, and like the bar was like a pink kind of like marble-ish looking shit, and then like
date was like all that combined.
Yeah, and the date was just like just dressing everywhere, like gilded stuff and just
hearts everywhere.
Yeah, chandelier kind of stuff, and that
heart-shaped moon.
It's just a very festive, like visually,
background.
Yeah,
space for them to be in this episode.
The fact that it might have been like, this place is not for like the faint of heart. If you want to like just go on a subtle date.
This is not a town where anything platonic happens.
Yeah, this town.
Everything is romantic. Yeah, no. And they say that in like multiple times throughout the 2 episodes that this town is featured in.
It should be called Kissing Town. It should be called like Syphilis City.
Or like
Together forever.
Non-consensual boulevard or something, because like that's what happens. They mentioned several times, like, if you are in this place with somebody of the opposite sex and you guys like are more than acquaintances, you're probably going to end up romantically linked somehow. Yep. It's like
and Virginia,
even if you don't want it.
Virginia almost was like hesitant to like go on the date with Wolf.
She not hesitant. He was like, "Hey, we want to go get dinner," and she's like, "No, I'm good. I'm not hungry." Like she gave him a definitive answer, like, "No, I'm not going." And then all of a sudden, a little heart butterfly enters the frame and like circles around her head, and she's like, "What?
There's any connection there. Those butterflies just.
I will go with you and eat dinner, even though I just said I was not hungry. I'm gonna go with you." And it's like
natural air of roofie.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
flies.
There's just a slight undertone of like, yo, let people make up their own minds.
Yep.
Don't make things happen.
If there's any chemistry there, even just a little bit, those roofie flies come in. They're like, all right,
yeah,
you guys
they're just they're attracted to like just people knowing each other, really.
Yeah, just a subtle acquaintance.
I wonder, does that happen for homosexuals in that town too? Because we've only seen like a platonic, like hetero interaction with that like gauge of the.
There was a few times I was looking at the background actors, and there was a lot where it's like some people don't look like they want to be partners. Like they were just like pulling at each other and like, I want to go this way. But it was almost like I watched one guy in the background. He was being pulled by his significant other, and he was trying to like get in focus to the camera. Like I think he was trying to like cheat the camera to like get in. But it turned out by the end of the scene, they were meant to pass from frame right to left.
Yep.
They were just going to pass the
as
camera
like transition
as they were moving the camera away from them. So like he just wasn't hitting his mark.
Yeah.
I think he was just like, and the girl was like, "No, you're not. It's not yet.
It's
like,
over here.
you have to wait till the camera moves." I just found that kind of funny. Like, all right, that guy's just jumping the gun. He just wants
there
to look
is
at the
like
camera.
It's a very populated place. Like we have no idea the geography here. Like we don't know how big this city actually is, but there's like more people on the streets than in all the other towns and places they go. So you definitely get like an idea that this is a very happening and very populated place. So you do see like even in your peripherals a lot of like characters in the background, characters in the foreground, stuff going on. So there is like stuff like that to see, and it almost feels like people are just so brainwashed by this town that they're like hand in hand just running around town like we're fucking in love, going from a restaurant, they sprint over to a ring shop, and then they go over to like who knows,
Bedrooms.
but they're just like
bathrooms.
frantically running around out of their minds because they're like not
But
in their same
that
mind.
That all breaks, no pun intended, when the mirror shatters on the
Yes.
ground. They just
Jay
get like
Larry
fucking
Yeah.
pissed.
John
Larry.
Larroquette.
got the mirror.
He goes like he and the dog like go through with a little ruse of like, oh, we're gonna leave you in the town square like he wants, and then
Spark.
but then the dog runs away, and Tony goes up the tower where the huntsman was hiding, and is like, oh, I'm gonna find the mirror, and gets locked up in the top of the tower, and then decides it's a good idea to climb down the roofs
With the
outside of
heavy-ass
the tower with the mirror, yeah, and then
It shatters
no
right
surprise.
in front of Virginia, and
Yeah.
she just gets
He's like right at the last segment of climbing down everything.
Yep.
It breaks, falls off the mirror or falls off the roof. She's like right below him, so she sees it fall,
feasibly
sees
could
it
have
break.
died.
yeah, that could have been a Final Destination kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, cut to commercial break, and when we come back, they're both on the ground. She's like, "How could you let this happen?" Blah blah blah. We get introduced to a little plot mechanic of
and they get real pissed about the mirror, and they're really like, "You fucking
Run
broke
out
a
of
magic
town.
Yeah,
mirror."
we
for 7 years
introduce
bad luck. I don't-
Tony's bad luck.
Like I don't believe in that shit. Blah blah blah. And a giant
Here's-
stone falls from the sky.
Yeah.
Galloping
smacks him on the
horses.
head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like audio, like they tie the audio to like something either character wise or visually or something like that, and that's one of them. Like the bad luck. Every time that they want to have something of Tony's bad luck happen, the way that they let the audience know that it's like his bad luck
His trigger.
influencing him, yeah, is the galloping like hooves. It's just an ethereal thing, and that honestly, I don't think anybody in that world hears, not even Tony.
Yeah.
I think that it's literally just a sound for the audience so that we know that it's like, oh, there's the bad luck again.
Really? I thought he was reacting to it at first.
He's the only one who seems like he has any time that he interacts with it, but yeah, it seems like nobody else really hears it because
I'm
Virginia
thinking,
is like, well, maybe you just didn't tie the straps right at that one time.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like he's getting triggered by those galloping hooves, and then later on, he breaks the curse, or Virginia kind of wishes it away, and then he like now is triggered every time he hears galloping hooves. So he's just like,
I wouldn't doubt it. The bad luck. We'll get to what happened, but
So
yeah, bad things happen to him. I wouldn't be surprised.
they get scolded away. They collect as many pieces. As
They get
can.
run out of town. They collect as many pieces of the mirror.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they put it back together. And Virginia's just like, for some reason, like, what's on the back of it, and flips it over.
why
and
not?
then sees some design, starts piecing that shit together.
There's like letters
and
and
it's manufactured. It says manufactured by the dwarves of Dragon Mountain.
yep.
So they're
Spot
like,
on.
well, shit. Now I know where we have to go.
And Prince chimes in. He's like, "Oh, I remember Dragon Mountain." Blah blah.
When
blah.
I
It's
was
like,
a pup. I mean, a little boy.
yeah,
Because
and
he's slowly
that's
deteriorating.
he's
His
like
humanity's deteriorating.
he's losing his
Becoming
memories and
pup.
becoming more like dog-like.
Yeah.
Yeah. As
Love and-
as we also have another subplot of the
Oh, yeah.
his counterpart, the dog in the prince's body,
Tries to hate
is becoming more man-like. Like he's understanding more of how to like interact with people and how to kind of play off that he is like a person.
Yep. He's like, what do I like to eat?
What do I like to? Yeah. What do I
You like
usually have?
cheese sandwiches.
Hot cocoa, and a cheese sandwich. Do I really?
Yeah. Really posh now. He's not as tongue wagging and
Right.
scratching behind the ears.
Well, in the beginning, I feel like they try and portray him as like they try and just lay it on really, really heavy of like, he's like the beast before he gets cursed, where he's just like arrogant, selfish, totally thinking about himself and just like an asshole to everybody. So the prince speaks up and is like, "Oh yeah, Dragon Mountain. I remember that. So like, cool. He can guide us there." They go to Dragon Mountain, or no, they go to try and ask a couple like metal workers if they know anything about Dragon Mountain and people making mirrors and all that. And lo and behold, the people that they're trying to like go ask have just bought at the same auction as the mirror a gold statue,
Yep.
which contains The Trolls.
The Troll Bros.
And sister. And the Warner sister.
Yep. And the Troll sister died.
My dad.
My dad!
Are you my dad?
They're fun characters. Like, it's kind of fun to have them back.
Yeah.
They had a little hiatus so that we didn't, like, get completely annoyed and
Burnt out on 'em.
burnt out.
And
Because
this
if they...
one, we have to give respect to Ed O'Neill's portrayal of
Yes,
the Troll King.
relish.
He got-
Relish the Troll King.
he
If
got
you could...
axed.
If you could please, just
They all
for
got
like
fucking
a couple seconds, put up a picture of Relish and then just
In
make
black
up a
and white.
couple dates beneath and just put like R.I.P.
Yeah,
Whatever dates you want, I'll leave it to you.
Just, look up the day it premiered on
No,
NBC.
I gotta do like the eras that they did, like Cinderella,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Early Cinderella to late whatever.
late Snow White,
Late Wendelin.
Wendellian.
Wendellian, yeah.
Rip. Relish the Troll King.
Stroking. But yeah, because that whole thing, he was like, oh, Queen's like, well, meet us at this fucking apple orchard. And he's like, all right, I'm going to be sneaky and I'm going to have my fucking trolls hiding.
Yeah, I'm gonna...
And of course, they're
Ambush
sitting there
her.
for like an hour or so they're eating a bunch of apples and shit. She shows up and he's like, haha, ambush. And then she's just like, gotcha,
Haha.
Bitch, I was here even earlier than you were,
Poison
poisoning the apples.
Yeah, that was after her weird commune with the dead ass evil stepmother.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so then all those fucking trolls die. All those fucking trolls die.
Turning got wheels across the floor.
And then what else we got? They go to fucking what's its fuck mountain.
They go to the mountain. Yep.
They go to
There,
Bullfuck
there's
Mountain.
there's more like. There's a lot of like little fighting between Virginia and her dad because of him breaking the mirror, and there's just more. What they're doing there,
things.
like that mirror breaking, is a really great impetus for these two characters who have been like, they've been both going after the mirror, and they both have the same goal, so they don't really have too much reason to fight. Like they do bicker a little bit, but now they're actually like fighting, and they do split their ways and then come back together.
Yeah.
But what they're doing there is like, and with what we find out at the very end of the episode, they're giving these two more reason to flesh out their backstory and flesh out their relationship, so that when we find out big pieces of information like that, it's more influential, and then there's more of an effect for the last episode where we'll see even bigger stuff. So like,
So they go.
there's a lot of fighting, and they're
they
going to the
meet-
mountain.
Meet up with the dwarves, right?
They make their way down like
Dwarves are just
into
like-
the mine. Yeah.
You're the one that broke the fucking mirror,
Hmm.
dude. And he's like, they're like,
What are you gonna do?
yeah, they're like, go fuck yourself.
They are gonna like sentence them to death just for being in the mountain. But then they
With that weird like librarian dude, I just zoned out there for a little bit.
the dwarves. Okay, so the dwarves made a truth mirror for Prince Wendell's coronation. So when they were there and they had the like ceremony of like unveiling the truth mirror, they were then gonna take Tony and Virginia and them to be killed, and they went past the truth mirror, and one dwarf was like, "Wait a minute, look, it's Prince Wendell there in the mirror, the grandson of the greatest woman that ever lived." And yeah, he had these very like dancerish kind of motions to him. It
Like
was
he
weird.
turns to one side, turns to the other side, turns back to the one side,
And then
turns
like,
to the
and then
middle.
brings his one arm like halfway up his body and points in the direction where nobody is, and he's
Yeah,
just
he's
like,
like the Scarecrow in Wizard of Oz. He's like,
Yeah.
maybe that way.
yeah, and it's. I just noticed that his movements were very like, okay, but they see that
You
it's
could
Prince
go this
Wendell,
way.
so then they're like, okay, well if you're Prince Wendell, then we'll help you find information on where the other
Yeah, and there's
mirrors
some kind of
are.
weird prophecy going on there too, right? It's like when Prince
They say
Wendell
something
shows
about
up
like,
on
this day was
four-
foretold that a great prince would stand before us on 4 legs, and that's it.
That's
It's
the
like,
prophecy. It's like,
really?
I mean, it's,
You had. That's just a weird prophecy to have. Like, hey, one day, somebody important is going to stand before you on 4 legs.
yeah.
Maybe that guy was just
Got it.
super high and drinking that fucking super quicksilver
Possibly.
that they had.
Then fucking Jay Larry fucks around and breaks all the mirrors.
Yeah, there's more tomfoolery, and they find out that the queen has the
There's
other
all
mirror.
sorts of bad
Is
luck.
basically all that leads to, is that the queen has the other mirror.
Yep. And then
And then
are we at the end?
Virginia, Tony breaks all the mirrors, so they then have to run. As they're running,
Oh yeah, they fall.
his his bad luck hits again. They like go down another chute, and he's like, "God damn it, bad luck!" Blah, blah, blah. Falls again, pretty much breaks his back,
Breaks
like
his back.
straight
Not
up.
very much, straight up.
Well, yeah,
Straight
like
up.
they
He's
don't.
paralyzed.
They so the only say I pretty much is he's like, I think I may have, and then he's like, oh, my back's broken. Like they assume.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, he can't move.
Nope. So
And she
Virginia
is
does
like,
the
"All right."
best care in the world, and just throws her coat on.
Yeah, throws her coat over him. Is like, all right,
Deuces,
I'll be right back, Dad.
Dad,
Dad.
I'll be right back.
I'll be right back, Dad.
So she does that. She squirts off.
That wasn't us trying to do a Virginia impression, by the way. Yeah, so she goes off, and she finds.
Snow White.
Yeah.
She finds a snowy cavern.
Yeah, snowy cavern.
A snowy
With
cavern,
a stupid
but it may
fucking
not
saying
look like
on
a
the
snowy
outside.
cavern
A
from this
weird
side.
epitaph with like, they found those letters
That you buy at Target,
That you buy at
Yeah.
Target.
at Pier 1.
That everybody rearranges to say like ass and shit.
Yeah. So she reads it. She walks around the whole thing.
A 24-year-old college
And then she
student
looks-
dorm room.
She looks in this crystal grave, and then
Yeah.
Snow White just disappears from it, and then she reappears in full form.
As Cameron Manheim, not looking anything
Put
like,
up a picture.
like the girl that was in the actual tomb.
No, the
Snow White
girl.
in the tomb did not look like Cameron
This
Manheim.
the woman in the tomb actually looked quite a bit like the
Snow
the
White, yeah.
like Disney-ish like the conventional depiction of Snow White, but then you have
But then
Cameron Manheim
C. Manny comes in,
where
of the practice fame.
yeah,
And then she
which okay, so just like seeing when it came out, there were a few advertisements like just after the episode would air, there would be like a 5 minutes or so of behind the scenes, like as they ran ads for the next thing to come up, and there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff with Carrie Manheim, where
Cameron Manheim.
I don't know her name, Cameron Manheim, where it was like, wow, she must be in the show quite a bit, and they kept using that one clip of her being like, meow meow on the wall, and I was like, wow, this must be a really big moment, and she's there for all of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep, she does a really long kind of speech.
She was a name at the time.
Yeah, and then watching the scene, it was like, wow, they're really playing up like, hey, you guys should recognize who this is, and I didn't as a young viewer, but I'm not surprised. Like, I know my parents recognized her, but I never.
Like, wow, she's in this. Great, I'm gonna watch it.
And
Love the
then
practice.
she pretty much just like serves as a fairy godmother, which she even says.
Yes.
She's just like some shit and some other shit, and then
Blah blah
like,
blah. This is what happened to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You-
I'm
to-
retelling my Snow White story in like 2 minutes.
To kill the
she got-
queen, or like she tells her that the queen's weapon is poison, and that's how she'll strike, and that's how you need to kill her. So you got to find the poison comb that she tried to kill me with, and then Virginia's like, I could never do that. Dad.
And then she
And-
gives her that mirror.
Yeah, a little hand mirror.
And
This will show you what you want to see, but also what you don't want to see.
She's like, well, yeah, I could grant you a wish, I guess. And she was like,
Yeah, she's like, before I
Then
leave,
the most
here,
non-committal grandmother,
Yeah.
like,
Just
eh,
wanna wish
I
I
guess
wish-
we'll give you
wish
a wish, whatever.
Stop my dad's bad luck. Well, make his back not broken. She's like, that's clearly like 2 wishes, but okay.
But we've got to continue the story, so yes,
So here we go.
get out of here.
Ends it.
Get out of here,
But
Virginia.
Right after that, somebody who says it like, oh,
She
your,
does.
Your father's from
Immediately after giving that line, she says it's
Oh yeah, she turns
it's during the same delivery
and then she turns
of
back. She's
the
like, oh God, your dad's in trouble.
yeah, because the
I
first
thought
line.
bad luck was done. So like, he erases bad luck, Kira, and now he could possibly die. What the fuck? Is
Your
this?
father's in great danger. You must hurry to him now.
She's
Like,
like, bitch.
and that's
What?
that's in the same delivery as.
No more
Strictly
bad luck.
speaking, I think that's 2 wishes, but it's done. Blah blah blah. Like turn around. Your father's in. Like, but you just said he was fine.
Yep. And then so Huntsman's there.
I'm Rutger Hauer.
In the Ruddy boy, Ruddy the Nuddle,
Ruddy Duddy.
is coming
Fresh and fuzzy.
after old Tony.
And Tony's like, fine,
Well,
kill me, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, dude.
Well, he's pretty much given up because he thinks
Yeah.
his back
He
is
thinks
broken, that
he's-
his daughter's left him pretty much.
And then
Like
Virginia fucking comes in and gives him the old
Cold clocks
pow
him
right in the fucking face
with a
the torch.
metal ass torch, just
Yeah.
like smacks him across the cranium.
You'd call that like, yeah, that's not just a torch, it's like a sconce or something hardcore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Wrought iron just.
a meaty weapon that she's wielding there.
Goddamn right it is.
Shit.
And then they're like, oh, we need to find a way out. And she's like, Dad, you'll never believe this shit. They go to where Snow White was, and she's not there anymore. Surprise, surprise. And she's like, well, I thought this was...
It was. She was right.
So
Yeah,
this
that
way
whole-
out. It's like, wait, listen. I hear some water. Let's go.
They put out the torch so that they can like concentrate on listening. They hear the sound of a waterfall. They make their way out.
Found a hole.
They're back in the Fourth Kingdom,
Yeah.
and then
By a waterfall.
okay, and then
Dun, dun. Spoiler alert.
Virginia pulls out the hand mirror, and Anthony says like, "Where'd you get that mirror?" She doesn't answer his question. She just immediately is like,
up.
"Mirror, mirror in my hand, who's the fairest in the land?" And it shows the evil queen.
Yep.
And which is interesting. This is when we realize, oh, they've never seen the queen.
No.
Like they've heard her talked about all the time. They've never seen her. They don't really know like physically who this person is.
Yep. And then Jay Larry's like,
And he's like, wait,
Christine?
That's Christine. And Virginia's like, wait, is that? And then Tony says, that's your mother. And she's like, Mom, it can't be. Mom. And then
Yeah, they didn't say.
And then
They weren't looking for the queen when they riddled the.
no, she
mirror.
said, who's the fairest in the land?
So she was.
And it showed the queen.
She was testing it,
She
right?
was looking to find the queen.
She was lucky. Or
No.
She was looking for the queen.
The fairest in the land was the
Yeah,
queen.
Was the queen.
The mirror showed the fairest in the land who was the queen.
But
Yep.
she.
Knew
Does
that.
she think?
Who's she? The queen or Virginia?
Does Virginia think that's the queen?
Yes.
Yes, she.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Well,
and then she's all like, someone's looking at me. Someone's looking at me.
okay, no. At that moment, she doesn't think that she's the queen. She just recognizes it as her mother, and she's like, "What the fuck? Why am I seeing this?" They're both like that. And then immediately after that, after he throws that, she's like, "Why'd you throw that away?" I figure that if she can see us, or if we can see her, maybe she can see us. And she's like, "Why would you think that she can see us?" And he's like, or like, how did she get here? How could she possibly get here? And then they're both just like,
There's a weird flashback.
the other
scrubbing
the
shit out of
other
the
traveling mirror,
Yeah.
hence the other person who has the other mirror is the queen.
Yep.
She's the queen.
Yeah.
That then they kind of put it together afterwards. Yeah, and then we get like a couple
Weird
flashbacks
scrubbing
of
the shit out of her daughter real fast.
And then,
And
like-
she's like, oh, fuck off. And
yeah,
she's
like
doing some
running out of the
skateboards and going
apartment building
faster.
and down the street and
Yeah, and then that's
What a weird
like,
scene to end on. Yeah.
And then that's it. And that's
the end though was like, yeah, no, the end was literally like, how did she get here? Momentary pause by John Larroquette, and then she has the other mirror.
Yeah.
She's the queen. And
Yeah.
So
Jay
that's
Larry
the
tosses
revelation.
that fucking tosses the mirror. Yeah, all that shit. And then, well, she sees too. The evil queen sees Jay Larry. for a
she sees
second,
his face, and then just
but
like
has
nothing.
No recollection. So maybe she's got some mind fuckery going on.
That could be it.
Yeah, because all she
She's not-
says is like, "Someone is watching me. Someone is
Yeah.
spying on me."
Yeah.
But it's getting towards the big climax. I
Yep.
think.
It is.
This is
building
the
to
episode.
It
This
is.
is the episode where everything happens. What's the end?
Well, it's the breaking of the.
What? What is your what?
It's the breaking of
Some-
the.
Episode where everything happens. Well, but it's the end.
But okay, like I would argue that, and I know that you haven't seen it. Yes, it's kind of like common sense, but I would say more stuff happens in the next episode.
Which is the last one.
Yes.
But it
When
also.
all the stuff happens.
But it's not.
So this
technically
isn't
all
the
the
episode
stuff.
where all the stuff happens. Next episode, I'm serious though. Like, it makes it's common sense, but I like really next episode is where so much stuff happens.
The last episode.
Yes,
But it
but-
also has to do a resolution.
it has to
That's
do
why I said
a
the next
lot of
episode's
things.
The one where all the stuff happens.
I didn't hear the next episode. I thought you were talking about this current one. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, I
I'm
meant
sorry.
the next
Yes, yes.
That's why I was confused. I was like,
Yeah.
it's the one where it all happens, and you're just like, oh.
I thought you were talking
It's the
about
last
this
episode.
one, the penultimate.
It's
See,
like, no, there's after
see-
the credits.
we can defuse bombs, no problem, but we can't talk about a goddamn movie
No.
to save our lives.
No.
So what did you guys think of this episode? Just like as
Long in
an
parts.
episode versus the other ones, long in parts.
I'm continually liking each
Yeah.
sequential episode. Like
Yeah.
I like the
Well, I'm
the
starting to like-
gradual incline of the conflict and the characters and their growth and just their adventure they go on, like all these different places.
Yeah, you see what I mean when like early on I was like it's like a traveling show.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
once it starts moving, it just goes all these different places, and that's part of the fun of it. Is like they say Dragon Mountain, and you're like, oh shit, what's that gonna look like? What's
Right.
that gonna be like? And then you go there, and
I'm starting to like all the characters more too.
yeah,
Like, well, I mean, like even more. Like with each episode, I like them more. Because at first I was just like, all these people suck.
they're real kind of like paint by number, just
Well, and they're all like dinguses
yeah.
and
Yeah.
assholes. Like,
Yeah, you think Wolf is just really selfish,
Yeah.
and but
Jay Larry's fucking.
The only person
shithead.
that is like to the least amount of dingus is Virginia because
yeah.
she's the main character, but she still has or aspects of her character where it's like negative things about her character.
Yeah.
You know, she's like impulsive or brash or like
At this point, I don't like I know she's the main character, but like I don't really give a fuck about her story at
No.
all at this point.
no.
It's everything
Well,
else
her
that's happening. around
her story is just the story of like
It's
getting
yeah.
from point A to point B back to
Yeah,
point A.
That's what her story is now, but like in the last episode, I'm sure that there's more revelations about the mom
Right.
now and their
And then there's
why
gonna be
that all happened,
gonna
why
be
she
s-
went to the
rife with
the
mother
Nine
daughter
Kingdoms.
drama.
Yeah, so it's like they're gonna have that heart to heart or that discussion in the last episode of some kind.
It's
There-
heart to heart to heart.
as oafish and like silly as John Larroquette is sometimes in this, and like how different these characters can act at times,
Yeah.
there is a pretty heavy acting scene in this between Virginia and Tony. There's a pretty really like decently heavy scene that's pretty good, and just yeah, you guys are right. Like there's just a lot more revelations, family drama.
Even the Queen had her own little time to shine.
Yeah.
in this episode.
She'll have even more too.
Yeah, you know, in the last
Last
episode.
episode.
Last episode,
And we'll see everybody else in
Well,
the next episode.
yes.
Well,
The last episode.
yeah.
You know.
Turn a wider shade of pale.
I'm guessing that's going to be in the last episode.
Is it?
Or my theory is just you just put that in there when you watch this back when you were little, and you just like had that
Just
song in your head.
ingrained.
It's just ingrained in
Forever
that memory,
Associated.
so it's not even in there.
Is
So
that
for
right?
some reason, it's just,
Are we right? do we hit the nail on the head? Well, there you have it, folks. Concrete answer.
yep. All right, we'll see you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everybody.